is that we would have Simi talk about their journey as a mother, as a parent, how the journey was of open learning, or rather is. And then we'll have Sahil share his journey. That should take about half an hour. And my request to everybody is to not post anything in the chat window during that time. And after that, we'll have a full half an hour for your questions to them. And that time we can you can post as many questions, and I'm sure they will respond to those. Yeah, so let's follow this broad schedule. And with that, okay, over to Simi and Sahil. All yours.
So hi everyone. So actually, my husband should have been here. he talks uh, he talks quite well about Arohi, but unfortunately, he's not here. So, like Ratnesh said, um, we we are also very proud of our son. From childhood onwards, he has been a sweetheart to everyone. Actually, very well mannered, very loving, very talented. But somehow, through the journey of schooling and that process, somehow no one recognized that talent. We used to keep thinking that he's such a nice child, and how come no one is able to see through him? They're always complaining or something like that, which slowly started changing him. And we definitely, both of us, as parents, we definitely didn't want him to change. So we set out searching for an avenue, especially after being three Tare Zameen Par. So we also wanted someone like Amir Khan to come in our lives. Uh, Thankfully, in the form of Ratnesh and Aarti, we found that space. So the first time we came to Arohi itself, we were so impressed with the way that even a child of 8 years old were doing things like accounting and the whole system, like it was hands-on learning, and we felt that it was exactly what our son needed. Um, so that's how we opted for Arohi. Um, so there was no looking back or anything. We were like quite confident that this is the space, this is the place for our son. And slowly, initially, it was like a complete change, or there was a lot of uncertainties, as in how is it going to be, or I think most of the parents would have that. But then, as in how it progressed, we started seeing our son evolving as the person he is.
Simi, would you like to mention at what age left school? Would you like to just mention that at what age he left school and came into the world of open learning?
He was in 8th standard. He was 15 years 15 years old, and um, so he did schooling till his 8th. Um, and and after coming there, even without him knowing, he learned so many things, and we saw him really evolving into that person that he was. And from then, the journey was really nice. We were really confident about how he's going to come out, and when the normal life or the his path would be more clear for him. And then after leaving Arohi also, we knew about all this mentorship, and so he still does that. He's learned photography. He's taken up that as his passion, and he's an automobile enthusiast as well. And now he's in his journey. He's got a internship in an advertising firm. So we are all looking forward how that's going to be. Another thing is that I really want to say it's how it's transformed me. Uh, I believe that schooling and the certificate that you get after that is everything. So I used to do interior designing as my passion, But I was very hesitant to say that I'm an interior designer because I haven't learned it. But after coming here, uh, that whole um, concept about learning through your passion, learning from other people, all those things gave me so much of confidence that I started saying that I am an interior designer and I'm pretty good at it, and that's why I got a job as an interior designer head in a big architectural firm here in Cochin. And now I'm starting my own firm also. So that's a good change that happened to me. And all thanks to Arohi for that. So,
So
Sahil,
with one open learner, we got another open learner. One plus one, one
yeah,
other.
exactly. And we have been actually saying about all this open learning to so many people uh, that my brother uh, is thinking of doing homeschooling because his child is extra brilliant and he gets bored with his normal schooling portions. So he is also planning and getting into this homeschooling because that feels more logical for them also. So there's a lot of transformation in other fields also, that other people also, that's happened because of us.
One more thing I want you to little talk about is that when you were taking him out of the school and looking for options, so what were some of your, let's say, concerns? Meaning, you knew the reason for that because he was not flourishing in the school, and he can talk more about the problems he faced. But what was going on in your mind at that time when you thought, okay, eighth standard? Normally, at people at eighth standard are thinking about 10th board and 12th board and those kind of,
Yeah.
and so what was
So,
on input your
yeah, for us, for both of us, like as parents, I don't think we had any conflict to the fact that we didn't want to change our son. So that was our primary concern. And we as people, we don't think about the future so much as in, all those, we just take the future as it comes. So that's kind of our nature. Um, so we don't think about 10th boards but primarily we want to be happy people. And we didn't see that in our son when he was in his normal schooling. Uh, so we just wanted that so that there was no insecurity or no kind of doubt related to the fact that if we find an opportunity anywhere that can make our son learn in a way that he is supposed to learn, um, we will just jump and take that opportunity. So there was no doubts or anything was not there for both of us equally.
I I think that's a big thing not to worry about future. I think that if we can take from you all, then that would be an amazing change for all of us, I guess. Okay, Sahil, you where you want to start?
Okay, so we'll start from the 10th thing itself. So initially, when I was taken out from school or when I left regular conventional schooling, I was a little hesitant. How was it gonna be? Like initially, when I joined ROE, it was like, okay, no studies, yeah, everything's going fine and stuff. Well, then I had a little phase in between that if I don't get a 10 certificate, how will I get a job or all that stuff. Then is when I started getting into projects in ROE, for example, the Dome and things. So then I started working with projects, then that gave me a lot of exposure towards, let's say, how you take a whole project and then get into the work side of it and all that. So I started working with this experience out of things and like that. So then I was really not really thinking about 10th then. Then this whole NIOS thing started coming up. Then okay, so I'll register and give my exams. Then when I started getting into the studying part of this thing, then it was really not my thing to study for. Then I decided I didn't want to give my 10th and just pursue my passion. So I started taking up small photography assignments or projects. Did few shoots. Then I just realized that I can go in this line. So did few projects. Then it wasn't going really well. Then after that, I got an internship, mentorship with another professional photographer. So worked with him for almost a year. Then after that, so I believe that more than this going to a place and learning things, you get much more experience and exposure. Literally everything when you work on it, like hands-on learning type. So, so after working with the photographer, I realized that okay, I do not need to give my exam, and so without a certification, you can get a job. It, so people look into your experience and your passion and interest towards something. And since then, I've been just following my passion and things. So that hasn't been a 10th exam or some certificate hasn't been bothering me since then. And so even so, my whole journey in ROV. So when I joined, it was all fun and things. Then is when this uncertainty about the 10th came in. And after that, I wasn't really thinking about 10th. Then started getting involved in few projects like Dome and few other projects and things. So that all kept me busy, and we traveled to a lot of places. So while traveling, best thing about ROA is we get to do like all those back-end stuff ourselves. Like when we had planned trips to different places, like we from stay to traveling method to literally everything we can do it ourselves. So that gave a lot of experience and exposure towards various things. So that had helped me to plan my further travels and all that.
About your things that has actually helped you plan.
Yeah, so I recently organized an event, a motorsport race. So the planning which was involved, like which I learned in Arohi, that helped me a lot while organizing this race. So this had I had to handle a lot of different roles. So uh, segregating or planning each things accordingly to the time, and it is like it's like I had experience before, so it just became like very easy to handle it.
Okay, little more, Sahil, if you can talk
And
about
to
the
help
last,
me,
yeah, sorry, last couple of years, what all you have been doing, different things like you're talking about this automobile racing. So just share how you are ending up doing so many things. I'm almost envying you because you're doing such exciting things. So how do you all end up doing such exciting things? Yeah, tell us a little more.
Okay, so a lot of things actually just come to me as in like so I initially I was just doing photography on my own, like used to take up projects from like friends or referrals basis. Then people started like very few people started noticing my work and then approaching also. Then after that, it all got a little stagnant there. Then a family friend referred me to this photographer, and I worked with him for a year, almost a year. So that gave me a lot of experience on photography, like when it comes to the commercial side of thing, what all to look for. So you're doing advertising, fashion, and things, photography like that. So when it comes to commercial side, what all happens, and while doing that, how you interact with the client and uh, whole backend stuff and the whole professional side of photography. I was just doing a very casual thing earlier. Then after that, I had done engine familiarization course from Hyundai. So like my love for automobiles has been there from a really young age. So I did this engine familiarization course from Hyundai. So that that also came through a reference basis. Uh, and so that was for about 2 weeks. You get to learn the whole engine and stuff. So that had improved or scaled up my love for vehicles much more. I started to open my bike and stuff, all that since then. Then after that, again, there was a little time in between. I wasn't doing much. Then to get into a stream of business or work, I was working with my father's company for about 6 months. So just to learn the professional side of business or how a process-driven company works. So whole, I for about 6 months I was there. Then I was gonna get into this adventure sports motorsports company. So over there, initially I was given because I was doing photography before this, so they were given me to a project to conduct a photography workshop. So I had to like fix up a venue and the whole coordination, project management, handling. So everything that all helped me a lot because for this dome we were doing. So that time a lot of planning and execution and a lot of things had happened. So with that experience and overall coordination things and all became easier for this. So after that, he realized I had a stronger automobile side on me than a photography thing. So he gave me this opportunity to work on their motorsports side of the company. So while we were doing that, I was appointed as the secretary of the meet of the Popular Rally. So in that, I was given the responsibility of making the road book and so on. It was very interesting how this whole thing came across. And so after that, now I'm getting into this an advertising firm in Bangalore. So been waiting for that now since the lockdowns.
So are we assuming that, I'm assuming that when you're joining advertising firm, you're more joining there because of the photography passion? Is that where
Yeah. Pardon?
yeah, as a photography passion, I'm saying that connects you to advertising or any other
Yeah.
aspect of advertising.
So this job brought me because of the photography thing.
Okay.
This guy, he realized that I'm just 20 years old and things. So he's like, I've got all the time in the world right now. So he wants me to explore every field he's got in the company so that if something else comes across and interests me, so I can take up that also. Photography is always will be there. So he's like, something else, if something else can interest me, so I can take that up. So
Okay, that's awesome. Sahil, I also want you to little share about the schooling time as to what were your struggles and how did you see yourself at that time? And when your parents kind of brought this up that, okay, no more school, then how did you? I'm not talking about the ROE part, I'm more talking about the struggle,
regular.
the school and the transition from there.
Okay. So to me, school was just about friends. I was never looking into the academic side of it at all. That really never interested me, or I was never into the studying part, and I never used to sit down and study, and that always used to annoy me or irritate me. Things. So when I was gonna go out of school, I did not think about like leaving school and won't be studying anything. I that was never my concern then. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna miss my friends. That's all. Then getting into ROE, that so initial phase did not bother me at all because okay, I don't have to study there at all. Well, I did not realize like, so even though I'm not studying, well, I'm studying a lot of things there. Because this is like you're doing things and like without you knowing, you're learning a lot of stuff. So that phase was there. Then was that what I mentioned that in future, what if I don't get a 10 certificate? Then that's only there for a few months. Then that was also never issue. So it's always just phases going around and there.
So do people ask you, or do people kind of question you that, hey, you don't have even a tenth? What, you are like an illiterate guy?
Probably
How do
even
people respond?
few weeks back that question came up. So this question, I am sure this will go on forever. Well, you just have to accept that, or I kind of feel pity for my friends now because they're like struggling their ass out in colleges and schools, sitting there studying the thing, and half of the year, then they're like, okay, this thing is not even interesting, and they're just stuck there till they're done with their course. So I'm just happy that by the time, like, I did not have to waste, I wouldn't say waste, but spend 5 years in doing something alone. Well, the last almost 3 to 4 years, I've been venturing out in different fields and lot. I could gain much more experience than sticking on to one particular topic and just studying about that for 5 years or 4 years.
Yeah, basically, when people ask us also, we look at them and say that you guys are still studying. That's so such a pity. So people ask me also, why don't you take a degree and all those things? And I am like, I don't need that.
Yeah. So that this question, I'm sure it's gonna be there. Well, I had this initially this thing like I used to hesitate to say that okay, I don't have a 10 thing or you know. Well, I've then just accepted the fact that I have done so much in life now, and this none of these required my 10 certificate or will require. It's just about the experience and the whole passion which has got me all this thing, and that will remain there. So it's never bothered me like that, or that question is not bothering me.
That's very interesting. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I think the questions have already started coming. Okay, uh, so I think shall we transition to questions, or would you like to share anything more, or you think through questions you would like to share?
We can move on to question. You want to? We can move.
Yeah, so okay, so we can open to questions. So yeah, anybody who has a question, please don't use the private chat. Just use the normal chat so that we can all see the question. One question is coming um, is what about the social life? Rachna has asked that question. Do you miss friends, or would there be more networking? So, yeah, okay. So let's Sahil share this, and then I will add.
I've been able to like meet much more friends now because I just work between that, like the working hours, then I am free and I don't have like post work assignment time and also I have all the time now. I've been able to travel. So earlier when I'm in college, like when I'm in school, I can meet my friends who are there or meet other people when I go there. Just I can like travel to wherever places. So I've been able to meet whenever. So,
And there's no age limit as such for his friends. Now he has friends from
young age to a
Yeah.
really close friend is about 45 years old. That's never been an issue. I don't really miss friends because
Yeah, and he can reach to any age. It's not like limited to his peers or his age as such.
Yeah, in fact, I remember many a times I used to ask him, so what did you did on the weekend? And he would say, oh, my friend is about 40 kilometers away. I just cycled to meet him. So that is fine for you. You know, you don't have to have friends right there. You can go out and meet them, and I think that is the most amazing thing. When you have
Yeah.
time, which you decide how to live it, I think that's most amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, I'm Aditi. Hi, Simi, Sahil.
Hi,
Hi,
Aditi.
Aditi.
So I want to add few things. I've been listening to both of you. So two things. So Sahil, I didn't know that you don't know how to organize an event you learned in Arohi. I thought you already knew all these things because every every time you did a work and the glow on your face when you would organize, say, car event, the outstation trip, or meet people, or even when you were working on the dome, the way you were bringing the kind of innovation with Sinapana. I thought it was all there inside you. You just
Yeah, so when he organized the popular rally, there were people who were telling him, don't tell your age because he was just 19 and they don't give that post of a secretary to those to people of that age. But and his friends sometimes come to him and say that, oh, actually, you're just 19. So they will be all 27 or 30 plus, and they have to keep, you know, he sometimes acts more matured than them.
and the second thing I think I want to add is that Sahil had, when he was in Arohi, he had children. Say a 6-year-old was his friend,
Yeah.
and the most of the parents who were, say, 30, 40-year old, they were his friends.
Exactly.
It was so amazing that how he would relate with the different age groups, and how he will, as I think Simi was telling right from the beginning, that caring, he was very caring, very nice. And I think we didn't have to prove, or he didn't have to prove that he was nice, because it was all around him when he would connect with any age. And it was so I think quite amazing to have you for a few years to connect, and then
Yeah, so you can, yeah, so to people who are listening, you can put in more questions. Uh, Whatever questions you have, a lot of people have questions about future. Here is somebody who has reached, who is creating his own future. So you can talk to him and understand from him and his mom as to how does that work. So go ahead, please ask questions. Even if you are listening on Facebook, you can um, I think Rachna is saying she's really inspired, but she has some doubts about her friends' network. Yeah, I guess Rachna also, it is different for each child, and I think as parents, if we leave expectations aside and just say each child will have his or her own social, let's say, style of living life. Some will have lots of friends, some will have very less friends, some will have just one friend, and maybe that's good enough to live a life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think let's not look at everybody to be very social or less social or more social or whatever. So I think once we leave that, it becomes very easy.
Yeah.
Parul, I'm not able to get your question, Parul. Can you retype, please? Uh, or if you want to come on mic, you can also come on mic. Everybody, please feel free if you want to unmute and ask a question, because your question. Okay, Parul is asking, Sahil, can you share some of the things you learned being at Arohi without formally studying them?
So, so thing with Arun is you might not sit there to learn certain things, but unknowingly a lot of things come in, which will help you much later in life, and then you'll realize, okay, I picked up this thing while you did something else. So I can't really pick out things and say, because even maybe like I am exploring myself even now. So what do I tell? Like,
So actually, we used to feel the changes in him,
yeah,
like the way he organizes. And we used to say that you have learned so much of things. And he would be like, I didn't do anything. So it was very natural process of learning. And then, when he does those things later on in his life, we would say that, see, this has helped you here. So it's basically life education. What it means is exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, when you start your life in the real world, it is then that you really realize
Yeah.
that all those things like to run a business or to manage a project or to meticulously plan something, all the details, yeah, those things he's learned from there.
So I wouldn't have a list of things what all I've learned being there, but yeah, even like probably tomorrow if I do something new, I wouldn't realize, well, Uma or somebody who's else there would tell me that okay, this is there, and so it's not like a thing that I sit there and try to learn that thing. It just naturally happens.
Yeah, I also want to add that my interaction with him initial days, when he was asked to write, he was actually he was actually sitting for half an hour in front of the computer, and at the end he says, "My head is spinning."
Yeah, that still happens.
Yeah.
So that is there.
Yeah, so what I want to bring is that somehow we focus so much on one skill, and then we realize that so and I have not seen that skill which he sometime he would exhibit, that his head spins whenever he has to write, has anyway come as a hurdle for him.
No, it hasn't.
No,
It's
it
still,
hasn't.
whenever he was here, then internship and now working, I think he's figuring out that how else, what are the other skills which he is able to develop. And I think people around him are also able to recognize those skills, that
Exactly.
not necessary that you have to write. But that was a quite a lovely interaction to know that, okay, how he has something for certain skill, and then a skill of writing is considered such a huge thing, but I think he has proved that
It's not required.
it's not
So
required.
Sahil, would
Yeah.
you say in your own words, we want to put it on record that writing is not required. Live your give that message to the whole world of children who just don't like to write, please, and tell all their parents that your child doesn't need to write. Like me, you can enjoy life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to write to do something. Like there are people who can talk, people who can write. So I talk to people who can write, and they write now. So,
Yeah.
But I want to add is that
Action-driven world, I feel.
but what I want to add is that Simi and Ashir, I think your support and your trust in him was amazing. He could sail through all that because you were there as a support. And in whatever we met, I think you never came to me and then say, I'm concerned that Sahil is not writing. In fact, we
I
can
just try to make you understand that, he finds it difficult to write. Please don't ask him to write. He can talk. He can talk really well. So,
Yeah. It was so amazing that how you both had, in fact, Ashi was such a good friend of Sahil, that I
yeah.
think it was quite amazing to have trust and
And the
for-
acceptance.
and the
Yeah.
acceptance of his strength rather than his so-called,
Yeah.
I will not say weakness, but I think his strength was, and I also want to add to is that your what is Sahil, your brother's name? Sorry.
Fahim.
Fahim. Yeah, I think Fahim is studying in the law college.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
He's
not,
doing his final year.
yeah, so it's not that, you had two different experiences with two different children. And I think you went ahead with whichever direction they both were moving.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that brings out happy children, we believe. and happy parents.
So Parul, Sahil is not able to tell what all he learned at ROE, but I can tell you a whole list of things I learned from him. And one of the things I learned from him is how to take care of the car. How to make your automatically scold me every day. Okay. Next question is from Tanvi again to Sahil. He's saying, can you talk about some hurdles that you faced along the way? So Sahil, or maybe Tanvi, you can also a little more elaborate if you have something specific in mind because he has shared some of the hurdles. Is there anything specific, Sahil, you think you have missed out?
Basically, hurdles was like, there will be uncertainties definitely on the way. Like he said, in between there was a gap, in between there was a gap. So there will be some places where there is a gap. So, actually, I feel that gap is the most beautiful space to be, because that is the time that really pushes you forward to take up anything that comes next, whichever you felt that you might not take it or something like that. But when that uncertainty comes, it's when he pushes himself a little further. I've always seen that he removes some mind block that he has about not doing this or not doing that, and then he pushes further again. So
So that gap is actually a good thing. You get to think a lot, and probably, yeah, you will analyze yourself from like few months and whatever, and then you will want to push yourself a little more and kind of then fill that gap. Well, that gap gives you a lot of time to think. So gap
so
is
the
good.
hurdles were never hurdles as such.
Yeah, so
It was actually a catapult kind of a thing.
uh,
Yeah, I think Bhavika, that kind of I think answers your question also. She was more specifically talking about the gap between leaving the school and then being part of Arohi. I don't know, was there a gap? Was there a vacuum there? She's referring to it as vacuum.
no, it wasn't. So it's like I had summer school, then I came for the ROE summer camp. That is when I stayed there for 2 days, and then when ROE started in June, I joined. So there wasn't really a gap between school and ROE. It was like an immediate transition.
Yeah, we are quite fast at taking decisions actually. We don't wait and think a lot. Especially my husband. It's like we were just waiting to jump from that and put him in some place where we actually knew he was, because he was not a lazy child. He was a very helpful child, and we knew that he was not lazy. So then his studies was something else. So we had him checked also. So that's one thing which I would like to add for few parents. So he had a little bit of problem in, like Aditi said, about writing. So we were actually very relieved to know that actually it is because of some problem that he's not writing. So then we were just looking for another option. So we were very happy that we got that option and we could take him there.
Okay. Parul is asking again. Okay, she's saying, what age you were with Arohi? Are you still associated with Arohi?
So I left ROE 2017. So I was 17. Was gonna turn 17. Yeah. And from the to almost 2 years I was.
3 years, I think. I am not also remembering.
Yeah.
And I would know whenever he had a break, he will go for skiing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So that, and then they went for the intermediate course also,
Yeah.
and they were going for the advanced when there was some terrorist attack there. So that is there, trekking and
Oh,
whatnot.
lot of new experience.
Yeah. How to push yourself like through photography.
Yeah.
How to find new heights to learn more. Ratnesh would give him. How many
Ratnesh
times?
is a nice person. You can test yourself with. So you will go to him and talk. Then he'll have a lot of things. So one thing about Ratnesh would be like he's a guy with a lot of uh, skills, I can say. So like let's say farming or photography or lot more electrical things too. A lot of them. So you can go to him. Even yeah, birds, snakes, a lot of them.
Look, it's not a webinar about me. It's a webinar about...
It should be 50-50, no?
Okay.
You
So,
think about him.
Yeah. Now your turn.
No, that's how he's learned a lot.
Yeah, so yeah, like interacting with people, you might go to someone to learn something or tell something, but you might come back with much more new. Uh, Same thing like that. So I would have come to Ratnesh for something and then come back with much more things. Yeah, that helps.
okay. Gunjan is asking, Sahil, is any academic subjects you were interested to self-learn or you felt internally motivated to learn?
Um, so like after I left regular conventional schooling, I had this thing in mind that to lead a life, uh, the knowledge I had was sufficient. Like to go to a store, buy things, and all like to lead a life, what all you learn, it was sufficient. Like I don't think you'll use trigonometry on a day-to-day life, and all those things are all unnecessary to me. So I never thought about pursuing something from academic again. So how it works for me is like if uh, I'm doing something and some new thing comes on the way, I'll try learning that particular thing. So I wouldn't have to go through classes and study all subjects or all chapters about each subject, and then uh, use it in one or two things. So when I'm doing something, if something new comes across, so that's when you have a new thing to learn about. So you learn about that then instead of learning it much in advance and maybe not using it. That's like my logic towards.
Yeah, I would also like to add that unfortunately, I don't know who, but people have divided learning into subjects. But life isn't about any subject, as Sahil
Yeah.
is saying. And I've seen him doing so well that whatever strikes to him, he just dives into that. And there will be so many aspects of it in that which neither he would realize that are they called subjects outside, nor I think we would realize, but he would have picked it up while deep diving into whatever interests him. So I think that's the real cornerstone of open learning, where you keep deep diving into whatever you are liking at that moment, and you collect a lot of learning in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also want to add that I don't know which academics or which subject will bring the amount of knowledge he has about the automobiles. Uh, uh, Whether you call it machine, whether you call it working of them, whether you call it parts of them.
Even cleaning them, he takes so much care of that.
Yeah, so I don't know which subject will come under that, but the way he, not even now, even when 5 years back when he came, he knew more than what any of us knew about the cars. Yeah. So and not only just car models, and not about that, he would open, and he knew the machinery in and out about that. So so if that is the subject, yeah, I think he continued working on that. But if you say say Bernoulli's theorem, I don't know whether he would like to, or he's into that. But yeah, I think he has created his own curriculum, his own subjects, his own can you can say education system for himself, and that's quite beautiful that how he has done that.
So Simi, so for you, both the boys are now whatever big, and they are like into their own lives, right? So now you are like a mentor to the so many other parents who children are still whatever 6, 10, 12, 15, and they have doubts and questions. So what would you like to share to them from your perspective as a parent? Right now, I'm not just talking about open learning. I'm saying as a parenting perspective, what what has been your whatever gems that has
Yeah.
worked for you?
So
Yeah.
this whole the basic thing is what I feel is our child is, or any child for that matter, they are really beautiful people. But this conditioning of this world about getting marks and education and that certificate really fogs, clouds our eyes to see them in clarity, and to love them. Okay, we do love them, but still, that every time you get irritated and all those things, it just what blocks us from doing a lot of things. So I feel that this philosophy of open schooling as such um, really helps you in later life also. Like now, when we see each person, it's like we don't. I basically don't think about what is happening in their house or all those things. I feel that what more can I learn from this person? So that's the philosophy that I have, and I feel my kids also have the same thing. So that is something really beautiful. The change of thought pattern, it is difficult to break conditioning, that pattern of thoughts and everything. But I strongly believe that through this way of open schooling, or whatever that is, it really brings out the best in you rather than picking up everything. It really brings just the best in you.
Wow. What I'll do, Simi, is make a little video clip out of this, and I hope it goes viral to every parent. This is how you've said it so well. Yeah. Amazing. Sahil, now your turn to make a speech. Yeah. Don't give me that look. Okay. So I want you, same thing. So there are a lot of boys and girls of, let's say, 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, 16 years. Maybe their parents are suggesting to them, how about open learning? Maybe they have heard from somewhere. Now, but they also have doubts, because one of the first thing comes, oh, but my friend is, he's getting whatever 89, 99% in 10th, and that guy is doing this, and that guy has gone into this. So what is your thought for them?
So,
You've been there, done that kind of thing, or rather not done that.
so because academic thing was never my concern after that. So, like by the time I was leaving Arohi is when this like my friends started giving that in. So my friends used to ask me, how much did you get? So this question would be there almost for almost a half a year when you come across like, different friends. So your answer would be like, no, I wasn't interested in giving, so I didn't give. So all of them initially they will all be in a shock, or they would all be surprised. How can someone not give 10th exam? And I find it quite normal because, for example, the same thing what I mentioned, like you don't need a certification to do that, and because your friends are giving all those things, shouldn't be a reason that you should give. If yeah, what more to say about this? Well, uh, yeah. So this thing hasn't been much of an issue.
Yeah,
Basically,
I
you
think
have
that,
to be
sorry.
confident,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
about about the path that you have chosen.
Yeah.
So then actually when actually Asher used to talk quite deeply and with a lot of respect for this topic. And the other people used to actually initially they'll be a little skeptical, but after hearing from us, they will be like, oh, this is actually a good way to lead your life.
Yeah. So what I was saying was, what would be your message to, let's say, a 14-year-old now? Let's say there is a friend, there's somebody listening who's a 14-year-old. What would be your message to them?
So if you're like what Ratnesh mentioned, if your parents got to know about open learning and you're not sure about this would be the right thing for you or not, uh, it's my current thing. I would suggest uh, you're young, so you give it a try. Uh, and then if things don't go well, there's always a backup option of going back into school. School's not going anywhere. So, well, I feel that ROE has been a really good option for me because the position where I am right now is only because of ROE. Because if not, I would just go in the same streamline as 10s, then after college, then after that look for a job, and then you just keep going like that. Well, here you can venture out into whatever line of thing you want to get into. Uh, so that could be one reason you can think of.
Yeah, and I like the way you mentioned that just don't give 10 just because your friend is giving. I think that's an important. I think people are not even asking that question. Everybody's just by default giving 10. Mm,
Yeah.
Maybe somebody who's interested in academics, interested in going into professions which require degree, please go
Yeah.
ahead. And there is nothing wrong or right about it. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, my elder son, he is doing his conventional schooling itself because for him, we have always thought that he's not like Sahil, he's different. And his methods are a little conventional itself. So I think for him, that schooling would be better. But even after him doing law, he's not planning to pursue it. So it's yeah, his knowledge or his way of learning has been learned, but he might do business or something else. Maybe not pursue law.
So
Yeah.
he tried that, didn't like it, so switching career or
Switching
whatever.
paths or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So finally, whatever ends up is what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Be it at the age of 14 or be it at the age of 23 after you finished your studies. So we are seeing a lot of people who have done their engineering and doctorate or whatever is getting into their passion finally at the end of the day. So
Yeah, thank you. I think that covers, Vishruti, hopefully your question. She was also wanting to know, her question was, your both kids have been in open learning. So that kind of answers that. Okay, so we are really very near to 4 o'clock. That's the time. Yeah, Vishruti is mentioning, love the word, whatever child interest, whenever, whatever, that is the path to follow, I think. That's been a learning from Simi and Ashir, how they have given both their children this whatever you are wanting to jump into, go ahead. And yeah, that acceptance and that being there is the key thing. So good. I think this has been amazing. This has been an amazing hour that for me at least, just loving interacting with both of you, and I hope the people who are here and the people who will listen or hear the recording, you would get value from this lovely little journey which Sahil is into, and his parents are there to all the time support him. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sahil. Thank you, Simi.
thanks.
It's been a great hour. And yes, I do want that. I will make that clip and I will ensure it goes viral. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Good day.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye.